I'm going to seam together the second knit wrist warmers from the 8 Crazy Knits pattern collection. My first step is to determine about how much I want to leave open for my thumb. So I'm trying on my wrist warmer, making sure it feels tight on my hand. I'm going to thread my yarn on from the bind off edge and begin seaming it to the cast on edge at the spot where I was doing those slip stitches, where I've got that little bit of an I-cord edge. So I'm grabbing a stitch from each side, one after the other, one stitch after another, and I'm going to seam this for about 1 inch or so. This is the part that will cover my fingers on the hand, the part that will be above the thumb. So you want to seam it however deep you want that part to go on your thumb. And here I'm grabbing 2 legs of a stitch and 2 legs of a stitch on the top. So I'm going one after the other. This is mattress stitch. I'm looking at the right side of my work, the front of the piece. And I'm going to seam again just until it feels like the right measurement. For me, that's about 1 inch. If you have a larger hand, it could be more for the upper part of the hand. All right, after you've done your seam, you pull it tight. So that's the piece that's going to go on my hand, like this. Okay, then that's the opening I need for my thumb. So you could put a marker there if you wanted to remind yourself of where to stop. I'm just going to eyeball it. So I'm threading my yarn onto my tapestry needle, and I'm going to begin now seaming from the, this is the bind off edge, excuse me, the bind off edge yarn. The other yarn you would have used would have been from your cast on when you were seaming the thumb part. So here I'm going to seam the same way, my mattress stitch, all the way until I get to the spot where I have my thumb opening beginning. So I'm going to speed up the video here. Keep seaming. And pull tight every so often to make sure your seam stays closed. With the mattress stitch, I'm still going and going until I get to about the spot where I want my thumb opening to be. And then I'll try on the wrist warmer again and make sure that the opening is the right size before I weave in any tails. So here's the opening. I've left it maybe 2 inches here, a little too large. I feel a little exposed here, so I'm going to seam up another maybe 3 stitches or so on each side to get it to feel right. Here we go. So those are my last 3 stitches on each side, thereabouts. Then I'm going to flip the mitt inside out and weave in those 2 tails near the seam. Yeah, that feels good. So now I'm going to weave in the tails near the seam, and I'll show you how I do that. You're going to flip the mitt inside out, so now we're looking at the wrong side of the piece. And you'll notice right here we've got one tail that we used for seaming and another tail. Peekaboo, there it is. I'm going to thread those onto my tapestry needle one at a time and weave them in just underneath the seam that I created, giving a little bit of extra stability to the spot where the seam meets the open part, the opening part of the thumb, so that I've got some reinforcement there. After you've woven in for about 1 inch or 2 in one direction, come back in the other direction to secure the yarn, and then snip it close to the seam, and repeat for the other seam. The other tails that you have, you can weave right into the stitches that they are adjacent to, going down the mitt in a way that hides them. But that's how you put together the mitt. Happy knitting. I can't wait to see your projects.